Hello, everyone. I am Kaye Hauschild, and I'm a trans woman. Before I go into what I want to talk about, there's one person in the crowd I want to recognize. Alice Christensen, would you please stand? Alice was my therapist for years and years and years, and she probably kept me on the face of this earth. So I love you, Alice. I don't know if you recognize the name Hauschild, but it's a relatively local name. I grew up in Washington, Breckenridge area. My parents farmed a farm out there. It was a family farm from back in the 1800s. My nephew, Grant Hauschild, was on Heidi Camp's re-election committee. And my cousin, Barry Miller, barely lost that election. These are special people. And I was so looking forward to meeting Senator Heidi today. And although I know how sad it is to lose your mother-in-law, I understand. A couple of things I want to talk about are, first of all, I want to talk about how incredibly humble I feel following those other, holy cow. I know that everybody has problems and concerns in their life. I had some, but I don't look at them. I never look at my own problems as problems. I don't know how you people feel about your problems, but I would go up to other trans women who had transitioned, and I would say, "Oh my God, you have such courage." And yet, when somebody comes up to me and says that, I go, "What courage?" So with all of that in mind, I want to talk a little bit about the discrimination that I did experience, and I also want to talk a little bit about the opposite side of that spectrum, and that is the acceptance that I also encountered in the course of my life, my career. The discrimination part, I was employed in the retail hardware business as a district manager. Basically what we did was we took a group of retail hardware stores and we made them as successful as we possibly could. With that in mind, I had to know a lot about different forms of retail experiences, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into great detail. And I had to teach these people how to use them to their advantage. Well, in 2014, after months, years of going to see Alice and having her set my mind straight, I decided to transition. I said, "I couldn't live with it anymore." It was a hard decision, but it was an easy decision. I knew that I would never be able to stay in the retail hardware game that I was involved in because it's a man's world there. But I thought about it. Well, the good thing about it was my immediate supervisor, who was died in the wool, Rush Limbaugh did over that. And I don't want to get political, but he had made so many anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ remarks, and yet when I told him what I was going to do, he accepted me fully. It basically changed the way he thinks about the gay community. And I thought, that was great. I don't know, maybe I did. Again, I don't think that I'm that special, you know. But on the other side of that coin, couple of these people that I taught how to make money in retail hardware suddenly didn't want nuclear stores because of who I was. And then basically one person came out and told me, I don't want you in my store anymore. He said, you're very good at what you do, I don't want you in my store anymore. And that didn't make any sense to me. The other person wouldn't even talk to me, I had to talk to his son. So that was some of the discrimination I ran into. Other parts of the discrimination I ran into, co-workers that I've worked with for years and years and years, suddenly didn't want to have anything to do with it. I didn't change. I mean, I sound exactly the way I sounded when I was male, although I was never really male too. Yeah, there's good and there's bad. And I was sitting out here thinking a little bit about exactly what I was going to say, and a couple of things popped into my head. One of them was how hard it was for us at our age group. Now, you said you were 82. I'm not that far behind you. I'm 64. Okay, so go back to the mid-60s. That's when I grew up. Would you bring this up to your parents? Oh my God, no. I grew up Missouri Synod Lutheran. I think they would beat you for doing that. I don't know. So I did learn after the fact that my mother would have accepted me unconditionally, which was, I thought, was the most special thing I'd ever heard in my life. And she also said it's probably a good thing your dad didn't know. But all that being said, I went through a lot of things to put the pieces in place for today's group, and there were people behind me that put a lot of the pieces in place for me. And I like to think that I was part of that. Again, I'm not a conceited person, and maybe I should be a little bit, just because, yeah, I did stuff. You know, I did things that helped out. And I see how easy it is for the young transgender individuals, both male and female, in today's world. Now, it scares me to death to think what this administration is doing to the transgender individuals. It really frightens me. So I transitioned, I go through life, I started a new job, and I had made the decision once I transitioned that I was never going to keep a secret from anybody ever again. So I called, when I applied for a job, I called their human resource department, and I told them that I was trans. And they said, we don't care, we want you because of your talents. And I thought that was incredible. It goes both ways. You can have people out there, and you're going to have people out there that are going to be real bigoted. I mean, I I grew up in Breckenridge. I now live out by Park Rapids, Minnesota, at my lake home with my dogs, Zach Brannigan and Bender. Any future Hammer friends out there? Anyway, I don't hide anything. I walk around out there just like you see me now. And I would say, I like to say 100% accepted. Oh yeah, sure, I get these crazy looks every now and again. I'm like, take a picture or something. So, all that being said, I want to be accepted as the woman that I am, that I've been all my life, just didn't show it. And that's kind of why I'm here today, kind of why I'm speaking, because I want to believe that you folks are going to be as open to us helping you as I want to be to help you. And of course I need some help too, so. So that's my story. I'm gonna end it up with one little thing that happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I was the job that I have now puts me in Walmart stores. Yes, I know. But it's funny the people that you see in there. There's one young, I want to say maybe she was 2 or 3 years old, had picked up a pillow, and this pillow had what do they call it? Those shiny, spangles, sparkly things.
Sequins.
Next time you can tell. And I just commented to her. I said, "But that's a very pretty pillow." And she looked at me funny and she goes, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And I said, "No, I'm a girl." And she said, "Well, you look like a girl, but you sound like a boy." And I said, first of all, I was going like, "Oh my God, it looks like a girl." But then I just said to her, I said, "Yeah, I know, but there's lots of different people in the world, and sometimes you just have to take what